Tavarish, I see you. I've seen your The Test video, and I accept your challenge. Challenge accepted, Tavarish. This is my 2009 Nissan Altima. I bought this car for one purpose and one purpose alone, and that is for fun. This car has to bring me excitement and enjoyment. If it doesn't, it does not serve its purpose. I've installed a ridiculous huge spoiler on the back. I've installed some canards on the front and on the back. I threw some wheel spacers on here. It's got some fender flares. It's got the dumbest paint job you've ever seen. I bought this car for $1,000. And the whole point of this car was just something inexpensive that I could buy, that I could fix up, and that I could drive around and have a whole lot of fun in. If you're not familiar with The Test, it is a way for YouTubers to establish how good their project car actually is. I'm gonna run through the questions in the test. We're gonna score this car, and we're gonna see how it stacks up against any other YouTubers who have accepted this same challenge. This car is a 300 horsepower with a 6-speed manual transmission, front wheel drive. It is awesome. Now this is a copy of the test. What it does is tests a number of key points on your car just to see how good it is. We're going to talk about each point. I'm going to give it a score, and then we'll see what you guys think. Before we get too far into this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. If you've seen some of our content already and have not subscribed, we want you to join our community. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get back to the video. The first question is legality. Is the car registered and insured? Is it legal to drive excluding modifications? Now this is a pass-fail base, so it's worth 5 points. Now, if you know Tavarish, you know that he made this question for Ed, who always is driving around water-damaged cars, flood cars, total write-offs, and he's just thrown a dealer plate on and he's driving around the street. I do have a small confession to make. This car is an out-of-province car. That means in Canada, you can't register a car that's not from your province without doing a test. Now, I have not put this car through that test. It's the reason I got it so cheap. I do have to come clean with that. So I am doing a very Ed-type maneuver by buying a car cheap because nobody else wants it. Now, how am I able to drive it on the road? In Alberta, we actually have 14 days from the time we buy a car to switch the registration. I've got insurance. I'm fully covered from that perspective, but I have not done the registration yet because I purchased this car within the last 14 days. So it's legal, but not fully registered. So I'm going to take a 0 on that. Paint and body, 25 points, 5 per subcategory. Body work quality. Is the body free of any pinholes, waviness, sand scratches? Our panel gaps to factory spec are better. The modifications on this car are not good. The paint job is not good. The fender flares were mounted just with sheet metal screws, and the metal was not treated, so eventually it'll rust out. It's really not good. But the body underneath is quite exceptional. So I'm going to give myself a 2 for that, and I think that's being harsh. I think it's actually worth a 3, but we'll give it a 2. Were factory methods used to attach the metal? Is the car's unibody frame safe? The unibody is completely safe. I've done a full inspection on it. It is completely safe. I am not going to be ashamed to take a 5 on that. Is the paint free of noticeable dirt, nibs, uneven color, fisheye, excessive orange peel, fixing, bubbling, or dry spots? The paint is garbage. It's actually really bad. I'm going to take a 1 on that because it's there, but it's not great. Were the materials correct for the application? Panel bond, primer, sealer, filler, fiberglass? Yes. This car was actually, I believe it was sandblasted down to bare metal and then primered, and then this horrible paint job was put on. Maroon is not my color, so don't get me wrong. There's a couple things that make a car cheap. Number one, a maroon car or a green car will always be really cheap. They're not worth anything. Number two, an out-of-province car is also really cheap. When you mix an out-of-province car with maroon, you've got a car that you can't sell. Of course, I would come along and buy that car because it's the only way I can afford a car like this. A car that didn't have this crappy paint job would have cost me about $6,000 or $7,000. But yes, the correct materials were used. Like, he did a good job, the last step was bad. So I'm gonna take a 4 on that. Or factory methods to finish the body and paint. Color sanding, cavity wax, paint, off garnish panel. No. He didn't do any of that. I'm gonna take a full 0 on that, and I'm not even gonna argue that. Mechanical, general operation. So this is where this car actually shines. I have 358,000 kilometers on this. This thing is a monster for kilometers, but it is in surprisingly good shape. I bought it off the original owner. He took care of this car. Does the engine run idle and cleanly? Does the transmission go into gear reliably and smoothly? Are all temperature pressures when running? Good. Yes, everything's good. Transmission smooth. It's a 6-speed. It works great. So I'm going to take a 5 for that. Are the mechanical components free of fluid leaks and all belts, hoses, gaskets, and bushings free of and brakes in good condition? Yes, I can confidently say that. I did have some front end components that needed to be repaired. I've done another video showing when I replaced the lower ball joint. I've also replaced both front struts. This car is tight. It is very tight. I'll do a 4 for that because there might be something that's wrong. Are there any unintended noises, vibration caused by running of the powertrain? I've put spacers on here, 2-inch wheel spacers. This car ran smooth as silk when the spacers were not on. Once I put the spacers on, there is a little bit of a vibration from the rear at about 110 kilometers an hour. It's due to the spacers. That's my fault. I'll take a 4 on this because currently with the spacers on, it doesn't run perfectly smooth, but it's darn close. Are all critical components torqued to spec? So the engine, internal subframe, mounts, wheels, tires, brakes, suspension. I don't know. I think so, but I don't know. I'm gonna take a 3 on this because I know that the work I did wasn't torqued to spec. It was all done as tight as I could do it, and that was it. Completeness. Are all components where they need to be? Is everything secured? Yes, everything's where it needs to be. I am missing one window frame right here, but everything else is there. I'm gonna take a 4 on that. If you don't agree with any of the ratings that I've done so far, post it in the comments. Let me know. Say, Anton, you're out to lunch. You have a bad idea of what your car is. If you do agree, or maybe I'm being too harsh on myself, post that in the comments too. Now for the fun part, drivability. Diagnostics. Is the gauge cluster free of any warning lights? Are all temperatures, pressures stable while driving? Yes, there are no warning lights except one pesky tire pressure monitor light. Now that's because I changed the rims, so that light is on. All of my pressures are fine. Everything is absolutely normal except for that TPMS. I will take a 4 for that. Is the car free of any unintended noises caused by driving? Squeaks, rattles, pops, bangs. This car, now that I've replaced the suspension, it is absolutely tight. There are no bumps, no banging, no nothing. This is an easy 5. Is the performance of the car at an OEM level or better for the given platform? I would say it is at an OEM level for the miles. It seems really tight. It still performs well. Everything, it corners well, it stops well, it goes well, everything goes well. I'm gonna take, I'll say a 4 just because it has higher miles, so it might not be exactly at the brand new level, but it's dang close. This thing is pretty awesome. Is the suspension aligned correctly? Factory or modified specs allowed? Yes, the suspension is aligned correctly. I had to do an alignment after I did the front end components, which is done, and it's tracking properly. Everything is right. Can the car drive 1,000 miles or more without any warning lights, mechanical faults, or electrical issues? Tavarish, holy crap, 1,000 miles? That takes forever. But because I accepted your challenge, I'm gonna do it. Drive 1,000 miles. Here's a quick montage of me actually driving this car more than 1,000 miles. I drove about 1,200 miles through the Canadian Rockies both ways, to the other side and back again in a complete loop. We've done a separate video of that, which you can check out. It's our budget car road trip. Not only did this car go, but 2 other cars went. We were trying to prove what the best car for a new driver is, especially for a teenage driver. And obviously I think this is the best car, and we had to prove that. So we did that in that video. But I drove this car, no issues at all. So you've seen the montage, you've seen me driving it. I will happily take 5 for that without a doubt. Purpose. Does the car fulfill the purpose of the project? Example, 10-second drag car, daily driver, drift car, etc. Now this is a pass-fail and it's based on 20 points. There's no part way, no whatever. The purpose of this car was a fun car that looks fun, it puts a smile on my face, and it's just fun, cheap fun. And this car absolutely fills all of that. I'm gonna give myself 20 points. It's a score based on 100. So we're gonna add this all up. My score is 75 points. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. Keep an eye out on other YouTubers. When you're going to other YouTube channels, insist, say, have you done the test? This is a fun little test. Does it serve any purpose? I don't know. In time, if more people take up this challenge to do this test, then we can start to get some sort of a baseline to say, if your car is any good or not. And I don't mind doing that. I'll do that for this car. I'll do it for other cars. I'll put a link to the test down below so that if you want to do a test on your car, you can certainly do that and see if it's any good. There's actually a lot of videos that I'm putting out on this car because I have a lot to say about it. I've tried a lot of things, I've tested a lot of things, I've done a lot of things to this car to help get it ready for this road trip that I did, and this test was just one of those things. I hope that you watch these videos and you enjoy them because I put a lot of time and a lot of my own personal money into this car. Question a lot of you guys are going to be asking yourself, what are you doing with this car now? I actually have another car waiting in the wings that is better suited for the summer. This particular car was purchased for fun, like I said, but also for content. I have reached the end of the content that this car will be used for, which means it is time to pass this car on. Normally, I would sell this car to recover some of the cost of buying the car and putting that all in and hope that the content offsets the difference, because I'm not going to make as much as I did buying it and putting it all in, obviously. But I'd love to give this car away. And I can't give it away unless the videos are making enough money to pay for the car, because I can't keep telling my wife that we're gonna skip dinner tonight to pay for a car. I have to at some point buy her dinner, and that costs money. So I gotta pay for this car somehow. Please watch these videos, share them with your friends. If you enjoy it, show it to other people. Say, hey, check out this guy, he's going places. I am going places, I'd like to get there faster so that I can bring you guys along for that journey. We can do a giveaway, I'll give you a car, I'll ship it to your house. You can have it. I'd love for you guys to benefit from it too. I've done giveaways on a smaller scale already. I'd love to do them on a bigger scale. Help me out so that I can help you out. That's in a movie. Help me help you. Help me help you. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.